Hello YouTube! Kingpin of Cinema.
And the QB999 with a new movie review.
Ooh, it's been a while since we've done one of those.
We're reviewing the next installment of the X-Men series, X-Men First Class. Now let's do a quick recap of them. First movie. It was okay, I liked it.
Yeah.
Second one, really good.
Really good.
Third one, complete shit.
Sucked.
Origins Wolverine.
The less said, the better.
And now we have this one, the fifth installment. Now, bear in mind, same director, or same...
I think it's a new director.
New director, really?
Yeah.
Alright, well, still same movie company, Fox.
Fox.
So, you know what their reputation. Was it good? Surprisingly so.
Actually, this is what I'd consider to be the best X-Men out of the whole series.
A lot of people would say, mostly due because of the guy who played Magneto.
The acting, the ensemble cast as a whole, except for one, was amazing. Everybody was really good. The four central characters, the ones that really, really mattered, they all got them right and they all got them perfect. Charles Xavier, Magneto, Mystique, and Beast.
I really liked seeing Professor Xavier being younger and kind of being like that Playboy type, because the way you see him as an older guy, you would never expect that from him.
Actually, what I thought was a little interesting was when I was watching young Charles Xavier early in the first quarter of that movie, he really reminded me of the Doctor. Now, if you don't know who I'm talking about Doctor Who. He would seem like he'd be a perfect actor for that character.
Maybe he was partially auditioning for that part while he was playing this.
You never know, and that's a positive. It's like, I'm like, wow, he really reminds me of the Doctor for some reason.
You know, he's a very big smooth talker. He really articulates his words. He knows how to talk to a woman.
Well, he talks really fast, but he's like really articulate. And he's says a lot of science jargon. That's kind of what the Doctor does.
And the Magneto guy was really good. You finally get to see that backstory of him in the Jew camp.
The concentration camp.
Yeah, the concentration camp.
I think we just learned a few things about the QB just now.
Yes. And we kind of learned how his whole story starts with him learning to control his powers, and really who put him on that path of revenge.
Yeah, it basically introduces the main villain, Kevin Bacon, and that is Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
Because you weren't sure. He plays the main villain, who is the leader of this group called the Hellfire Club, which I'm surprised we ever got the Hellfire Club in a live-action movie.
It's basically built up of him whose powers, he absorbs energy and then can release it.
Yeah, and then you got Emma Frost, played by January Jones, easily the worst actor in the entire film.
She's her emotional range is the same as the diamond that she becomes.
Her emotional range is as flat as this Magic the Gathering card. You could, honestly have a cardboard cutout of a generic human being and have in every scene, and that would have more emotion behind it than January Jones. She is that painful. Whenever she came on the screen, I just went, oh god, I gotta watch this bitch again. Now I've had it said to me that she is pretty. I don't see it. She's definitely got jugs, but I definitely don't see it.
She is classically beautiful, okay?
No, she is not. She looks like a horse. She needs to be put out the pasture and brought to the glue factory.
This is an insult on women everywhere.
The truth hurts.
I agree. She sucks at acting, but she's beautiful.
Not really.
Okay,
And
whatever.
Moving on.
And then, of course, you have the Devil.
Yeah, who is actually Nightcrawler's father.
We are assuming because he looks like a devil and he teleports.
He's Nightcrawler's father.
You mix him with Mystique and you have Nightcrawler.
Which is probably what's going to happen if we get a sequel. Which I do. I really hope we get a new sequel.
The next guy after that is a guy who can create tornadoes.
Yeah, I don't...
Call him Twister.
I have no idea who he is. And on the X-Men side, you got Beast, Havoc, Banshee, Darwin, who dies quickly.
Yeah, you have a...
And some random bitch that has wings and she joins the bad guys, whatever.
Yeah, you have Havoc, Cyclops' older twin brother.
Well, I know they're twin brothers in the comics, but I don't think they're trying to be comic accurate with this. I have heard, like, some comic fans were really bitching about the origins of Magneto's helmet.
Yeah.
And as it's presented in this film, and some other things. And I'm like, whatever. If it looks good on screen and it works thematically and it works in a story structure, if it's good, it works. Okay? I mean, that's all that matters, as long as it works.
The story is basically centered around the Cold War. The main bad guy is basically...
Kevin Bacon is basically
trying to incite a nuclear war.
With the Cuban Missile Crisis. He's behind the whole Cuban Missile Crisis. And his plans are actually easy to follow, straightforward, and achievable. Unlike some recent villains that we've gotten in such films as Pirates and Priest and Tron.
Yeah, you know, he wants to start a nuclear holocaust so that mutants basically inherit the Earth.
Yeah, and it, as simple as it is, it works. But really, the central character and the one that everybody's latching onto is
Magneto and Xavier. And this is really their story. It's how they kind of became friends, how they got together, and how they drifted apart.
Yeah, it's basically how you see the friendship there, and you're kind of dreading the moment when they become nemesis. And you can kind of see where that respect comes from in the other films.
Xavier is actually the one who helps Magneto kind of reach the level of power that he's at.
Yeah.
And really, Magneto in this movie, to put it simply, he's a badass.
Yeah, and it's always interesting when, because he's kind of an anti-hero in this, is the way to put it.
He's out for revenge.
And they make him very sympathetic. And it's always hard to make a guy very sympathetic. I mean, especially if it's a villain.
Especially an asshole villain.
Yeah.
There's a part where he's in a bar, and he's, like, killing these 3 German guys because of the way he was treated when he was younger. It's like he stabs one guy in the hand with a knife, takes the knife out, throws it into another guy, pulls it back, and stabs the guy in the hand again.
Yeah, he doesn't just kill these guys, he fucking murders them.
And then he proceeds to shoot that guy in the head.
Yeah. Well, they had to come in, they were Nazis, so that's fine. But, I mean, the fact that they made him, like, very sympathetic and everything he says comes out to be true is also pretty cool, too, because he's like, well, you know, Charles...
They're gonna fuck us over after all this.
Yeah, we can do everything for them, and in the end they're just gonna betray us. And then Charles is like, it's gonna be fine.
And then in the end they get betrayed.
Yeah.
But Charles, being the guy that he is, still believes in the power of humanity.
It's like what Mystique says, he wants to fit in with the world. He doesn't want to go against it.
Yeah.
And that kind of summarizes Charles Xavier. He wants mutants to fit in with the world. He doesn't want, to be separate.
But then, isn't that all our hopes and dreams?
Yeah, that's stupid.
Overall, though, the acting really good. The storyline easy to follow and relatively realistic.
Relatively realistic.
As realistic as you can get in a sci-fi fantasy movie.
There was, like, every reason to think this movie was going to suck.
Yeah.
And it's so pleasant to see that it's good.
And, of course, like, a majority of the characters are really likable.
Yeah, everybody's pretty darn likable except January Jones. Enough said. I'd say my favorite character was Mystique. Because I like how she had her development with the way she looks.
Yeah.
Which is hot, by the way. I'd tap that blue bitch. She kind of goes through the change of, like, wanting to hide herself to becoming, like, why should I have to hide myself? Yeah, it's all an allegory for, it could be an allegory for gays and whatever.
Anything, really.
But, in the context of the movie, it works. And it especially really works for her, because I found myself agreeing with her in when she's saying, why should we have to hide? I'm fine the way I am.
And, of course, there was kind of a love triangle thing going on between her and Beast and her and Magneto.
Yeah.
Beast is trying to find a way to cure his deformity, his feet. Whereas Magneto is trying to tell her, you're fine the way you are.
Yeah. And then Beast actually develops a serum that's supposed to remove the mutant qualities, but instead enhances them. And how much do you want to bet that's going to be a plot point in the next movie? I'd say it's a good chance.
Yeah, because it wasn't always like Magneto was always powerful, but then he does something to himself that makes himself like even higher.
Maybe. I'm who knows? But I'm just thinking. They made such a big deal in introducing this serum in this film that it has to be like a major thing to go on in a sequel, a potential
Probably.
sequel.
Same thing. Like this actually also shows how Charles becomes paralyzed too. From just a ricocheted bullet that was an accident.
And it works too, because I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that he was going to get paralyzed in the film, so it was actually a pretty shocking moment.
So it's kind of showing him starting his school too.
Mm-hmm.
And of course it shows his first love interest too is a CIA officer who
Moya Matagat.
Yeah, who then he wipes her memory, so then she has no memory at all of them or of anything that happened.
Yeah. Oh well.
Overall, though, highly recommended. Even if you hated all the other X-Men movies,
this is the best one. This is like
best one. This one is watchable by just about anyone.
And thank God we're looking at other mutants other than fucking Wolverine.
Although he did have a little cameo.
He did have a good cameo in this one. I will say that.
So anyway, I think that's all we can really say about this one.
So long, Darwin. Hope you burn in hell.
Anyway, so that's the Kingpin of Cinema, QB999, and if you didn't like it, okay.